Excited to have on our show today Eli Peterson. Eli, say hi.
Hi.
Hey, yeah, we can wave to the camera because this will be recorded. Last week, I don't know what happened, but our footage got erased, and so we didn't have a YouTube episode. But that's okay. We'll have one this week. Eli is a former student and a student who's attending right now at the Institute, and he's just got an incredible story that I think will speak to a lot of hearts. Eli is just a good soul who has his entire life just really wanted to serve a mission. And things kind of turned out differently than he expected, but we're just going to talk about his journey, his faith journey through that. And so thank you, brother. I know, as we were talking yesterday, I know one of our other interviews, you were like, oh, someone else has experienced this, right? Where things didn't go the way they thought. So Eli, thanks for being here, man. Okay, before we dive into the deep end of seriousness, we're going to play a little game. Is that all right?
Yep.
Okay, it's called Fake News or Real News.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so here's the deal. I've got this website here, and I know it's the internet, so who knows if any of this is real. But
Okay.
what we're going to do is I'm going to read the title of a headline, and we're going to vote. I don't know either. Like, I haven't looked at these, if this is fake news or real news, okay? And then we're just going to see, I don't know, maybe the winner will... I'll go buy a soda for or something. Although I'm trying to quit soda, so I don't know what we'll do. There's some Hershey Kisses in the office. Maybe we can have one of those.
Rights, I guess.
There we go. All right, Eli, here we go. Ready? Teenager fined 100 pounds for feeding a chip to a pigeon. What do you think? Real news or fake news?
Oh man, I'm gonna say real.
Why are you gonna say real? Speak up just a little bit.
I think it would happen like in some national parks.
Okay. I'm going to say real as well because it looks like it is like 100 pounds. That looks like England, and I think England has a pigeon problem. So let's say real. And then drum roll. Yes!
Good job.
This really happened. If you're not sure about a news story, always check if any news is spam. Oh, okay. Just said it doesn't give us the background, but okay. Ooh, I don't like this one. Oh, I should have. Oh. I'm definitely afraid of sharks. So here we go. Ready? Two-headed sharks found. Real or fake? I don't like this.
Fake.
Fake?
Yeah.
Okay, a little bit louder when you talk. I'm gonna say fake too because I just want it to be.
Yeah.
I don't want there to be any
Yes.
that. Yes.
You're good.
Oh, thank heavens. I was about to just have to be like, I'm done. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Two-headed sharks found. That's fake news. Okay. Police in Germany rescue man chased by baby squirrel.
Oh boy. That sounds fake.
Is that fake? I'm gonna say real. Okay, that's okay. You're saying fake. I'm gonna say real.
I think fake is.
Okay.
It's probably real.
I don't know. Let's find out. Ready?
Yeah.
It is real. It just sounded crazy enough.
Yeah, that's true.
It just had the ring of like weirdness, right? It sounds unlikely, but this did happen. The police sent out a patrol car to help, but luckily the chase ended when the baby squirrel curled up and fell asleep. Oh, okay, sounds good. All right, two more. Okay, here. Canadian zoo was fined after taking the bear out for ice cream. What do you think, Eli?
I don't know. I'm gonna say I don't know. I'd say real just because.
Real? Okay.
Just because.
And this time I'm gonna say fake. I don't know.
Okay.
Let's see who's right. Oh, you were right. It was real. Okay, there is video evidence of this happening, so we know it's true. It's reported by lots of news organizations, including The Guardian, Sky News, CBC, and the National News Broadcaster.
No way.
Taking a bear out for ice cream. Wow. Okay. They eat worse stuff. I don't know. Okay.
I guess so.
All right, number 5 here. Elderly woman trains 65 cats to steal from her neighbors. What do you think? Real or fake?
I'm gonna say fake. I hope it's fake.
Fake. You know what? I'm gonna go with you too on this one. I think that's fake. That's gotta be fake. Yes.
Oh, good.
Eli, if a headline contains big numbers like 65 cats, it's a clue that it might be a clickbait. It's trying to get you to click on the page to make money from advertising. The story is completely made up. Okay, all right. Although I don't doubt it. There might be some geriatrics out there that train their cats to...
Yeah, maybe.
What would a cat steal? I don't
know.
I don't know either.
Whatever they can train them to steal.
I know, right? Whatever they train them to steal. Well, awesome. Well, Eli, thanks for being a little bit silly with us. But let's kind of switch from the somewhat silly to the somewhat sublime. I'm really glad you're here. Tell us just a little bit about you, first of all. Like, are you from Southern Utah? If you want to tell us how old you are, yeah, all that great stuff.
Yeah, so I'm 21. I was born in Cambridge, which is by Colorado City, Arizona.
Okay.
So that's where I went to school and then moved to Hurricane, Utah at age 12. And then this semester I've moved here to study. Well, I've been going to school for a bit, but I've just felt like I'm ready to move out and
get on with life, huh?
Yeah.
An adult.
Yes.
How's your adulting going so far?
It's sometimes sometimes not so good. For the most part, it's good. I think a lot of times I find myself cooking, like if I leave things on the stove, or I think, oh, I'm doing a good job cooking today, and then I look at the clock, I'm like, oh man, class is starting right now.
Shoot. Oh, wow.
Anyway,
yeah, you'll get it.
Yeah, it's good.
Good, man.
We've all got different struggles.
That's true. Well, Eli, tell us a little bit about your story, your journey. Why are you here today? Tell us. I know that you have been one who, and again, I knew you in Hurricane, but you're one who you love the gospel, and I know that you've always wanted to be a missionary. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I have like always, not like as my dad has said too, like I wanted to be a missionary since I understood the concept of a missionary, and I was born into the church. Like I've known about a mission for as long as I can remember, and always wanted to. And I I started, and I've always like loved the gospel. Like been really like in primary, I just felt like I knew all the answers. That stuff comes like it's easy for me to learn that stuff, and so I thought, this is just something that it's kind of like part of who I am as a future missionary, and so it was
just always been on your radar, right? You're just like
right.
You said as soon as you kind of understood the concept. When do you think that was? Like when did you really go, oh, that's what missionaries do? I want to do that.
Like I don't remember. Like that's just like
pretty young.
My dad's. I don't remember the time when I didn't want to serve a mission, or when I didn't. But that's just the words like my dad was using to explain to someone. Yeah, he's just wanted to ever since he understood it.
The concept. That's cool. I love how you said that. I can't remember not wanting to.
Yeah, my cousins they're coming from a big family, and like from the time I was born until COVID happened, there was always at least one cousin out or
one family member out there.
Yeah, so cool. It's like I've just been surrounded by it, and
it's the long line and long legacy of missionary service. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So then tell us, like, as you're getting older and you're like your junior, your senior year, and it's becoming more of a possibility and more of a reality. Tell us kind of what that was like for you.
Yeah. So I was, I went to mission prep, and so it was kind of funny because like I said, I saw all my cousins go, but when you're like 5, you're like 18, like they're just so old. They've got have things figured out.
Yeah.
And then like my cousin, just a few years older than me, when I'm like, wait, he's not that old.
Wait a minute, I know this guy. Yeah, right. Isn't that weird how that happens? You start getting closer, you're like, I don't have anything figured out. Yeah, cool.
Like man, I thought well, when I was younger, I thought teenagers were.
They're adults.
Yeah, and then I was like, wow, I was mistaken.
Yeah.
So, and I just kind of thought like, I don't know if I'm like gonna be ready. Like I kept my, I focused a lot on like the worthiness, and like as I was in high school, I thought, I'm just not like ready to move out, and I kind of just assumed that I'd heard that missionaries have special gifts, and just assumed that, well, God will help me deal with whatever happens so that I can serve Him.
Yeah.
And so I graduated high school. Like I didn't feel quite ready, so I'll do another year
of college.
I've got 1 year of college, and
Right.
then go. And then the first year of college was in March when COVID happened.
Ugh.
Yeah, my dad was like, "Well, it's a good thing we didn't serve then and had to
Yeah.
come home." So,
And I know that you were telling me at that point, maybe I'm jumping the gun here, but is that when your dad got sick?
no. So
Okay.
this is like in 2020. My dad got sick like later. So in
Okay,
2020.
sorry, jumping the gun.
No problem. So I just thought like, okay, I'm not, maybe I won't go yet, and then I stayed at home for another year, and then let's see. It was the end of I gone for school for a year and a half.
Okay.
Let's see, graduated in 19, yeah, end of 2020. I've gone to school for like a year and a half, and I said, okay, I'm ready to start papers.
Okay.
And so, met with my bishop, and my mom said, Eli is like, I know Eli, and he can kind of have a one-track mind, so let's hold off, and so that it doesn't interrupt your schooling. And then, and then as soon as it
The
I
semester.
finished that semester in December, and then I started the papers, and I was like, I'd always heard of, like I said, I grew up in the church, so I'd always heard of mission papers. I'm like,
Right, you knew that was part of the
yeah,
process.
and I thought, whatever, it's probably a bunch of legal stuff, and like, I didn't know what it was. I knew you had to go through doctor's appointments, but I just thought it was a lot of hoops to jump
Yeah,
through.
a lot of formality, yeah.
And then, but I realized that that's not how I saw it at all, because, like, some of the questions were like, where did your grandparents live? So like, I was asked like, are you interested in learning a language, which I knew, but then they went into detail like, have you learned a language? How many years of the language have you learned? Like,
So it's just a lot more detail.
yeah, and which I thought was cool, that like the prophets are busy and the missionary department's busy, but they were taking the time to know me personally.
Isn't that cool? That's awesome.
We're told that God loves us, and I'm just really glad that I had that opportunity.
Now, when you were going through, I know that you were sharing with me yesterday, there was some frustration at a certain part of that process. Can you share that with us?
Yeah, so I was told I have been diagnosed with autism,
Okay.
and and it hasn't really, I felt like, especially up to this point, I thought, yeah, it's there, but it doesn't like really affect me.
Right.
I've got some different skills than other people, and it's okay. But I was told that I needed to go see a therapist just to, like, kind of assess, like, not just to assess like where I was, and as
And to
part
make
of
sure
the
you could,
process.
to handle
Yeah,
the
and
rigor of
I-
missionary work.
And so I thought, okay, my bishop said, yeah, I'll just schedule and I'll give you a call. And I said, okay. So I remember I was driving home from town one day with my mom and got the call, and I was excited to finally get this started.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like, okay, good, let's go.
like, yeah, and then because I needed to do this before I met with the bishop and state president, so.
The therapy, the
Yes,
meeting, okay.
or so, and I didn't know if it was like one-time meeting or multiple. I just had no idea. I was just
Right.
told to do some paperwork. So
Yeah,
I
like
thought,
I'll jump through
okay.
that hoop and we'll go, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then I got online, looked at it, and it was like all about like mental health, and it would say like, how are you organizing your time at like school and work or mission in parentheses? And I was like, yeah, and I don't remember if it was school or time, but I just thought, I'm not the best at that. I can be hard on myself.
Right. We all can.
Yeah, and so I just thought, maybe I'm not the best, and so I thought, well, I just want to, because we hear all the time about like being honest and not like, boasting, thinking of ourselves more. So
Right.
I kind of tended to like
Take it way the opposite way.
Yeah.
Beat yourself up. Yeah.
right, and so that was really hard, and I thought this is so unfair, like, and I just thought like, why am I doing this? Because we know that God knows everything, but I just had to like do this. I kind of felt like why me? And so anyway, long story short, I did that. Took me a while just because I was like I do it for a few minutes and then say no, this is just, I just get frustrated, and as I got frustrated I'd be hard on myself more. It was just a
vicious cycle.
Yeah, vicious
Were you
cycle.
frustrated because you felt like you'd had this desire your whole life to serve a mission, and then here's this big huge roadblock, and it's like, what if I say that I'm not great at organizing time? Like, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what was the frustration coming from? Because from that particular piece of the process of preparing for a mission.
I think I just felt like I felt like I was being judged.
Got it.
I mean, I don't know. It was like, I can't even remember many specific, like, my mom said that one of the questions is like, how's your relationship with your mom? And I was like already kind of
stressed and right, yeah, kind of beating yourself up, yeah.
and so I circled like lower than a number lower than I would have otherwise.
Right.
And she said like, hey, I just want to help. Like, can you
right.
show it to me before?
Really? So you were filling out the paperwork, and you maybe put a little bit lower number there, and then if I remember her correctly, she said, hey, can I see it? Let's go over it together. And she sees it. She's like, wait a minute.
And then and she said like, hey, just. And it wasn't a judging, she just wanted to know, and I was like, great, like, give me that.
No, I don't want you to do it. We're going to restart this, right? Yeah.
So, anyway, I called family services, who was kind of the ones setting this whole thing up, and said, I want to restart. They said, yeah, there's some new one on your portal. And
so you're going to restart that paperwork?
Yeah.
Because you're trying to get into a better headspace to fill that out.
Right.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I don't want to do that again. But I was like, no, it'll be easy. Like, you've already written it, just copy it over onto a clean sheet. And so I thought, okay. And they showed me where to get the paper, and then I just forgot.
Right, okay. Kind of, you're like, okay, you got busy doing other things in the process, and that just kind of got forgotten.
Yeah, for
okay.
sure. And then I called again and said, okay, I'm ready this time. And this time I'm going to do it. And they said, well, we're actually changing the system, so you're not going to need to do that.
Lucky break.
Like, and you'd think I'd be, like, excited, but I was mad, because I'm like, I felt like I had felt like, this was really hard, and
a struggle that you went through to do all this.
Like, they're not gonna, like, I'm just gonna throw it away, like, and so, and I said, I failed, and then I was like, no, did they say that? Oh, you failed? No. And she helped me, like, come out of that.
Yeah.
And so.
Can I pause really quick, Eli? What do you feel like going through that process, like you said, that frustration and maybe whatever, going through that? Why do you think the Lord wanted you to go through that, or do you think the Lord wanted you to go through that? Like, what lessons did you learn going through that frustrating part of the process?
Well, I don't know. I think I remember learning. We talked in the Institute that week about Abraham and Isaac, and it's like, of course, none of us will be asked to sacrifice family members, or nothing that drastic. But in my own very small, on a smaller scale, I was asked to do this and then told never mind. And I feel like they just was there to teach me about myself, like, because I thought, okay, there's something that I need to. I mean, I started out like, yeah, I'm willing to, do it, and then I thought, okay, maybe I need to be more willing to just
do hard things.
Yeah, And so I thought, and
Awesome.
it's like I can learn from that. And so this was in August.
Okay.
And then I met with the bishop and stake president over the next month. And then I waited, after
The fun waiting game.
Yes. I mean, everyone that's submitted papers knows about that. So, and I was going to school, and it was kind of cool that, like, if anyone said one of my plans, I was like, oh, I'm
waiting on a mission.
Yeah, it's like, I got the perfect answer. I don't need to fear that question.
Good. That's good perspective, man.
Doing just exactly what I'm supposed to do from within life. And then, I know, like, it took a while. I think my dad went into the state president because, like, I mean, my bishop and state president were, there was just kind of a question as to whether I would serve a full-time mission just because I have differences.
Right.
And
so it's kind of like you were teetering between it. Do I get to serve a full-time mission, or is this going to be more of a mission opportunity or service mission opportunity? Is that what you were thinking? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like, I mean, it's not like the final decision comes from an apostle, but it's like the stake president, I think, wanted to talk with my dad just to, like, know what input to give, just to get to know me better. And so they were finally, I asked a while later, and they said, yeah, your papers were submitted on October 25th. So I thought, okay, that's when
the hoops.
Yeah, like, I'm done. And then I just waited, had a Thanksgiving. Actually, I had about it was on the way we went to Phoenix for Thanksgiving, and on the way I started to get a bit sick, and I thought, it's fine. And I was sick for a few days and kind of got over it, but then the kind of spread around the family, but my dad got, like, super sick, and he said he's fine with me sharing, but he had COVID, and we cared for him at home as much as we could. Our neighbor, like, let us borrow some equipment. He had a machine to give him oxygen.
Oh, geez. So he was sick.
Yeah, like, I mean, at one point a neighbor was like visiting my younger sister, was like, yeah, Dad's on like 4 liters, so many liters, and the neighbor said, that's sad that you even know what that means. But
wow, yeah.
I liked knowing what it means, but didn't want my dad to be here.
Yeah. Were you guys worried that he might not make it?
Yeah, when he was really sick, I actually called my brother, and he's living at home, but he's a bit older and just does his own thing, kind of. And I said, like, that's like not
sick.
Doing
great. You come home and see him,
Yeah, and he did, and that was a good. I can't remember if that was before or after, but one of the days we were just walking, like, it seems like after that we saw, like, he started to get a bit better, and we were walking down the street singing Christmas carols because it was
Christmas time at that point.
And then I just got to be like, so, like, in the morning, one morning my mom would just, like, check his oxygen, and it was like, she said it was like 60, like super low, and then she said, okay, maybe I read that wrong, but it was still, like, bad enough. We need to take him in. And so anyway, we get to the hospital, and he's in the ICU, and they only allow 2 visitors at a time. So we were just taking turns, like, seeing him, and then my siblings went out for the 3 of us just went out for lunch, and we got a text in the middle, and my mom was like, come back, they're gonna let us all see him. And, like, that's kind of
odd.
Like, so I was like, okay, we get back to the hospital, and the doctor, or the nurse, was there in the ICU, just thinking like, yeah, we need you, like, we don't know if your dad's gonna make it out, so we're gonna like let you have time to say your goodbyes now. And
Holy cow.
yeah, and I was like, I was not like, because a lot of times, like, I'd like to say I was calm, but no, I was like,
I'm sure.
not. My dad actually texted me later asking if I was okay.
You okay, kiddo? Yeah. Wow.
So
So with that ordeal, right in the middle of this whole mission prep thing, I know that yesterday you were sharing with me that something your dad shared with you, that maybe one of the reasons that things took so long was so that you could be there for him. Can you talk to that a little? Or did I miss you?
I don't remember if my dad told me that or not. I don't know. So.
Or okay, then maybe I misheard. Was that just
I
something
might
that you
have,
felt like that?
I can't remember what my dad said, but I know I've thought since then, like, I mean, I might, like, I can't imagine leaving to MTC when my dad was like in that condition. I was just stressed, but.
So you felt like maybe that's part of the reason for some of the timing, the way it worked out.
Yeah,
so
I feel like I don't know if that's the reason, but I was grateful for the timing because of that reason. And like, so my family they live long distances away, but we, communicate with them often. And I thought I'm just gonna send some emails and, tell them what's going on, and I did, and they immediately just responded like very positively. It was like, we love you, we're praying for you, and it was like 10 days since he was in the hospital. I loved sending the emails.
Yeah.
I mean, so that
kind of felt like your mission email list. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and I thought of that too. Like, man, when I get a call soon, I'll just send.
This will be easy.
Like,
Look, I've already sent her and get up. Yeah.
Yeah, this is where I'm going, and it was super easy, and I actually did turn out to be a lot of missionary work because as time went on, I thought like I wanted to like update them about kind of my thoughts and just what I'm going, and so it became and. My family members, but I thought, they'll be like okay with this, and so I shared like the first day I just family members, and I looked at the clock before I realized it, like 2 or 3 hours had gone by, and I was still just emailing and responding to because so many responses come. It was really cool to see.
That's so cool.
And yeah, so that was like 10 days about. He came home Christmas Day. So
aww, Christmas miracle.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
The Christmas miracle, and then.
So then, how soon after that, or how late after that, I should say, did you get the news?
So it was a week. It was a few days before that. I texted my stake president because it had been a couple months, and I said, hey,
what's the news?
What's up with my mission papers? I said, oh, I'll tell you. And then it was January 1st of this year that he texted and said, I want to meet with you and your parents tomorrow at 5 p.m. And I was like, okay, I know this isn't how mission calls come.
Yeah.
And it was just like something had gone wrong, not necessarily wrong.
Right, but just that pit in your stomach, you're like, okay, what's
and it was fast Sunday, so I'm told that I was fasting, and my mom had told some of her family, asked her to keep me in their prayers, and so I got to the stake president's office, and he sat me down, and so basically explained that there's 3 things, like when you send out mission papers, it's basically one of 3 things that happen. You're called the full-time service, a service mission, or honorably excused. And he said, "You've been honorably excused." And I was just like, in shock, like,
Oh, yeah.
okay. It was just kind of like,
Yeah, shocking is a great word to put it.
it wasn't like I was instantly sad. I was just numb, like, wow.
Now what?
Exactly. I was like, okay. I was grateful for my parents there.
I bet. I bet.
My dad was willing my dad's oxygen, you know, like he was still recovering, but thankfully he was well enough to be there for me, and
so how did you process that then in the days after that, or like?
So I was like, I mean, I was huge a blessing, and I felt like that really helped. I didn't feel like I was like that devastated. I'm surprised that I'm not like this sad. Did I want to go on a mission that bad? Cause
You've always wanted it. Yeah.
Exactly. I was just confused, and my mom wisely pointed out that she mentioned school because I'm like, of course she wants the best for me, wants me to keep progressing, and so she mentioned school, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to school. And I can't, so I couldn't put my finger on it, but I just, some reason I don't want to, and she's like, I bet you are thinking like, cause you wanted to serve a mission, and I was like, I knew she was right, like,
yeah.
So I prayed and, just kind of went to campus, and I felt like that's what I need to do. And actually, also that week, my cousins have always, well, a few of them, since COVID happened, they couldn't do a homecoming, so they did a Zoom call with my family. And I thought, I'm going to do that when I go on the mission. And so I was honorably excused, but I thought, there's no way I'm not doing that Zoom call.
I'm still doing a Zoom call. I love it.
And I just shared kind of my story of just what I've shared with you. They knew about my dad's hospital experience, but it's just kind of, I shared some of the other things and for my testimony, it was cool that they were just happy to, I mean, it was kind of a happy time, there's literally some family members that was the first time I'd ever reached out to them.
That's so cool.
And it was like, wow, and I'm like, yeah, we want to, we'll keep better and start keeping in touch. And so
that right there is huge.
Oh, I mean, this is like a few days after I found out, and I'm like, wow, already blessings come. And
talk to me, Eli, a little bit. I know yesterday when we were talking, you said something really profound, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I wrote it down because it was so beautiful. You talked to me about how God feels about outcomes. That he's not. How did you put it? That he's not as concerned about outcomes, but about
change in us. I don't know how I put it anyway.
I think I wrote it down. Is it okay if I just?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to.
Sure.
You said this yesterday, and it touched my heart, and I think this will probably be the title of this episode. But you said one of the things that you learned was God's not concerned about outcomes, but about what I'm becoming.
Yeah, and I think that was cool too. And I've had some really cool experiences since then of being actually just after that, a few months actually, I was just kind of accepted that okay, this is
my life.
My life. And then my bishop and my singles board called me in and said, we want you to be a ward missionary. So I was like, okay, so I did get just different, and I just kind of, and with that whole thing kind of taught me, I didn't really know what missionary work was. But
what have you decided now? What is missionary work based on that experience?
I think it's just loving people, and just, for me, it's different for everyone, but I think I just need to learn to, learning people skills, learning people's names, just, it's
about people, right?
Yeah.
It's not about teaching lessons. It's about
right. And I felt kind of lonely at one point during my missionary service, I was feeling lonely because I had a list of names, the names of people I was calling them. Like,
yeah.
I was like, you heard the term, like, lonely in a room full of people.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking to them, but it just wasn't.
Still felt disconnected, maybe, yeah.
So I've just been still exploring that, but I just hope that if anyone's out there, like, just feeling like alone, because I'm not gonna lie, there's been times I wondered, like, why me, and like, what. I just thought it was because of my disability, or I couldn't think of anything else, but I just realized that's not true. I think God knows what you need to grow, and He will give it to you, whether you like it or not.
Okay, maybe that's the title. I love that. God knows what you need, and He wants to give it to you, whether you know it or not. That is so good, brother. Eli, thank you so much for being such an inspiration. Ever since I know you back then, in high school and seminary, you've just always been this positive ray of light. And I want you to know that, if you don't know that you're right. Missionary service isn't just about teaching lessons, but it's about becoming the type of person you are and letting people see the light. So you're a good man, Eli. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, brother. Okay.
How long are they usually?
30.